For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. Meteorites in history and religion. Throughout the centuries, various cultures and ancient civilizations have revered meteorites as sacred objects. The spectacular fall of a meteorite, often accompanied by light and sound phenomena such as falling stars, smoke, thunder, and explosions, has always ignited the human imagination, evoking awe and terror in anyone who witnessed such an event. For obvious reasons, the remnants of these celestial incidents, the actual meteorites, were often kept as holy stones or symbols of power. They were venerated and used in corresponding religious ceremonies. From prehistoric times to ancient Egypt, several Native American tribes revered pieces and fragments of the Canyon Diablo meteorite, a massive iron meteorite famous for creating the Arizona crater about 50,000 years ago. Archaeological findings across the United States and Mexico prove that fragments of Canyon Diablo were traded centuries before Columbus reached the shores of the New World. The circumstances of some discoveries suggest that the Pueblo builders preserved meteorites as sacred objects after witnessing their fall. In Clackamas, Oregon, local tribes claimed to worship the Willamette meteorite, one of the largest known iron masses, weighing about 15 tons. Before going on hunts, they would dip the tips of their arrows and spears into the water collected in the meteorite's cavities, believing that this ritual would harden their weapons and ensure a successful hunt. Indigenous peoples around the world have revered meteorites, with similar stories found in Greenland, Tibet, India, Mongolia, and Australia. Pure iron was rare, so it is not surprising that iron meteorites were especially prized by ancient civilizations as raw material for ritual knives and weapons, long before the Iron Age began. Such knives and daggers have been recovered from Egyptian pharaohs' tombs, Mesopotamian temples, and the burial sites of Aztec, Maya, and Inca leaders in the Americas. From ancient Greece to Mecca, the ancient civilizations of the West were no exception. There are several examples of meteorite worship in Greco-Roman tradition. The historian of religion Mercy Eliade argued that the Palladium of Troy, the Ephesian Artemis, and the cone of Elagabalus in Emesa were in fact meteorites, stones from the heavens, believed to contain supernatural power. Astronomer Richard Norton mentions the sacred stone in the Temple of Apollo at Delphi, a rock said to have been hurled to earth by the supreme being, Cronus, marking the omphalos, the navel of the world. The Roman historian Titus Livy recounts the story of the meteorite of Pessinus in Phrygia, a conical object known as the needle of Cybele, the goddess of fertility. After the Romans conquered Phrygia, the meteorite was brought to Rome in a grand procession, where it was worshipped for another 500 years. Even in the monotheistic religions of the Judeo-Christian tradition, traces of ancient meteorite cults can be found. In Hebrew, meteorites were called beetles, equivalent to the Greek Beitilia, meaning the dwelling place of God. The Bible tells the story of Jacob, the patriarch of the Israelites, who laid his head upon just such a betel stone in the desert. In his dream, he saw a ladder reaching to heaven, leading directly to God's throne. When Jacob awoke, he filled with reverence, he built a temple around the stone. Though nothing of this shrine survives today, the Black Stone of Mecca, another well-known example from the Middle East, remains the subject of debate. Whether the object of veneration is truly a meteorite or not, this is the Hajar al-Aswad, the Black Stone, to which all Muslims pay homage during their Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, and the most sacred site in Islam, the Kaaba. Every Muslim is obliged to make this pilgrimage at least once in a lifetime, to visit Mecca and circle the Kaaba, a cube-shaped building, 7 times. Pilgrims then pause at the southeastern corner of the Kaaba to complete the ritual by touching or kissing the Hajar, also known as Yamin Allah, the right hand of God. According to belief, this stone is a betel, a meteorite, given to Abraham by the archangel Gabriel. The stone also plays a central role in the life of Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, who set it into the southeastern corner of the Kaaba. The Hajj is an interesting ritual, since Islam forbids the worship of objects, yet this tradition seems to predate Islam itself. The stone may indeed be a genuine betel, a true meteorite, as it is said to have a black crust and a light gray interior. However, it could also be a pearl from the Ubar crater, a form of glass created by a meteorite impact in central Saudi Arabia, not far from Mecca. Sadly, scientists have never been allowed to study this sacred stone for religious reasons, so its nature remains a mystery. Wouldn't it be fascinating to know that at least one ancient betel still survives and continues to be venerated after more than 2,000 years? From the Middle Ages to enshrined, there is little evidence of meteorite worship in Europe during the past 500 years. The dominant influence of Christianity condemned all pagan rituals and beliefs during the Middle Ages, leaving only traces of earlier faiths and customs. Nevertheless, even today, meteors are viewed as omens in some rural regions of Germany, France, and Italy. Some people believe that a falling star is a good sign. They make a wish, convinced it will come true, as long as they tell no one what it is. Others see meteors as bad omens, crossing themselves and saying, "Amen, God guide it," or something similar to ward off misfortune. These customs reflect older traditions, suggesting that meteors and meteorites were poorly understood during the Middle Ages and treated much like other supernatural phenomena. This confusion is well documented in one of Europe's most famous meteorite falls. On November 7, 1492, the same year Columbus discovered the New World, a huge triangular stone fell with great noise into a wheat field near the small town of enshrined in Alsace, then part of the Holy Roman Empire. A young boy who witnessed the fall led a crowd of curious villagers to the site, where a black stone lay buried in a 1-meter deep hole. When it was dug out, people began breaking off pieces for luck, until local authorities intervened. The unusual stone was immediately confiscated to protect both the meteorite and the townspeople. The incident drew massive public attention, prompting Emperor Maximilian I to visit enshrined 15 days later to determine its significance. After some reflection, he declared the fall to be a good omen for his ongoing wars with France and the Turks. However, he decreed that the stone must be preserved in the local church, chained to the wall with iron links to prevent it from wandering off at night or escaping as violently as it had arrived. Today, the main mass of this famous meteorite can still be seen in the Regency Palace in Ensisheim, where it remains the centerpiece of an extraordinary collection of meteorites.